Greetings, this is Skylar Saunders Singh. What's current? Alright, this is the 8th installment of my series on serial killers. This time, we're going to be talking about this monster, this horrific person. Um, it just upsets my whole mindset trying to think of him, but his name is Paul Dorso. He's currently living. He's on, he has a life sentence. They overturned the death sentence. He was supposed to get a death sentence, but they overturned it. Um, the reason why he's got a life sentence, he murdered at least one person because that's only the conviction he had. But he's a suspected and pretty much um, the de facto killer of 5 women in the Jacksonville area. He was known as the Jacksonville serial killer. Salute to you, Turin. Salute to you, sir. He was known as the Jacksonville Strangler or Jacksonville or Killer Cabbie. He was a taxi cab driver at one point. And I have to say, I'm appalled. I'm appalled at the various names that he has on under his belt. I'm just at a point where I'm doing all these murders, and every one of them had it, from the Cookie Monster killer to the Baton Rouge Strangler to the Southside Strangler to all these different names for these people, and it just has a pattern. It's a pattern that builds up and builds up and builds up over and over and over again. There's very little known about his childhood, so we don't know if he played, if he was cruel to animals, if he was abused or molested as a child. We don't know any of that. We just know him from his army career. He was in the armed services. He got dishonorably discharged in the late 80s or early 90s, I think it was. And then he just started, as a matter of fact, it's suspected that he killed 2 women when he was abroad, when he was in the service in Germany. They haven't been confirmed, but they do suspect it. Let me see. I think with the difference in the different cases is always something that brings it all together. And what is that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? DNA. DNA is like the, except for I think maybe oh god, Roberta Elder. It played a factor in every case I've had so far. DNA is such a crucial element in all of this. It's so important. It's so riveting and it's almost exciting. It's because this is the brain at work. This is the minds at work. This is science. This is reason. This is thought. All going into one kind of straight idea of capturing these horrific and terrible people. So the story goes mainly concerned about one of the only females. I see you, Bumba. Salute to you, sir. One of the only female that he actually was tried and convicted of killing. So he essentially he raped and murdered her, stole her TV. Like it's just I just the mentality. What is the What is the mind? That's why I love the show Mind Hunters, because it's all about their minds, in their or their lack thereof. That plays heavy on all of this. The thinking or the lack of thinking on all of them. It's the emoting. They emoted. They felt. They were guided by emotion instead of reason and thought. It was emotion and feeling. That's the sad part. Now, I'm not saying emotions and feelings aren't good. They're lightning calculators, as Ayn Rand once said, of your I'm paraphrasing, not gonna remember exactly what she said, of lightning calculators, but they're lightning calculators of, I think, your consciousness, your wakefulness, your ability to experience life. They let you know automatically, this is wrong, this is great, this is bad, this is good, it's you can't help it. You can't even do anything about it. It's just, but what you do about it is put reason first and then have emotion take the backseat. That's what you do. Durso did none of that. Now I'm going to play a clip. This is the only clip that I think I found of related to him, and it's not much, but it's something. Hold on.
Tonight at 5, a convicted killer and an accused serial killer will spend the rest of his life in prison. Paul Durso's death sentence was overturned today. He was charged with killing 5 women. He was only convicted of 1 killing that happened in 1999.
See what I mean? That was like 19 seconds long. That was crazy. I don't have any, thorough, deep explorations of it. No real news clips. Nothing like that. Long Crime doesn't have a profile on him. I understood. I didn't see any. That was the only news clip I had of Durso. But he just kept he killed these 5 other women. I mean, should I say allegedly? I don't even know. They're saying that he actually did it, but he was only tried for 1, which carried a death sentence at first, and then it was overturned and ruled life imprisonment. But these things are becoming rarer and rarer. This is like the early 2000s. This is like 1999, 2000 kind of thing. It's not happening that much anymore. There is no God, but thank God for Ring and smartphones and people, watching out for each other and digitally and social networking and all that. It's very few, and of course, DNA. Without DNA, I don't know what, because that's what linked him. This guy was not that bright. I mean, it's a shame because it's like proving people right in a way, almost in a wrong way. Like, for instance, you would think a white serial killer did all this, a brilliant, cunning, mastermind evaded the police for all this time. It must be a white man. It must be a thoughtful white man to be able to go through all these different phases. In fact, it's a black man that didn't know what the hell he was doing, apparently, or wanted to get caught or something, because he left behind traces of semen on his victim. And it's like, duh? How could you not know that? Oh, here it's Sunday, and we're about to go into it. Let's do a break from the show, from the norm. All right, here we go. I said star. Excuse me. Turin is messing me up. How do you know there's no God? Because I know existence exists. That's how I know there's no God. Okay, that's it. Existence exists. That's all I know. That's all you have to know. And God is non-existence. So, Durso, he was not a meticulous, once again, there is no God, but thank God he was not. I understand your point. Okay, great. Thank you, Skylar Hitchens. rocking power to Christopher Hitchens. That was a brilliant man in a lot of ways. He was very smart. He was part of the top four, the four horsemen of the atheist apocalypse. Dawkins, what was it? Dawkins, Hitchens. Let me just look at it. Y'all got me thinking about other stuff at the same time. What is wrong with y'all? Dawkins, Hitchens. I'm looking it up right now. Don't worry. I'm looking for it. Hold on. Oh my God. Where are the other ones? Harris. That's it. Dawkins, Hitchens, and Harris. And there's one more. There's another. Dawkins, Hitchens, Harris, and Dennett. I always forget their goddamn names. Dawkins, Hitchens, Dennett, and Harris. Those are the four of the apocalypse. Do you believe in some sort of afterlife? I do not. I believe in a non-existence. When this life is over, that's the end of it. Like saying there's an afterlife is like saying there's a letter after Z or a letter after Omega. Because everybody has to say, well, he says I'm Alpha and Omega. Well, what becomes before Alpha? What comes after Omega? He's neither of that. He's neither one of those. So I'll just say it's non-existence in that context. That's all it is. And why worry about an afterlife when you have to enjoy this life? That's one of the worst things about organized faith anyway. They preach all this stuff about when we get to heaven and heavens go great and heaven and heaven and heaven and heaven. But what about earth? What about the universe? What about everything else that we can create and do and build and produce and wonder at? I mean, while you're alive and living on, especially in this lifetime. On this earth primarily because we're here, nobody is on a celestial body. They're in the International Space Station and things of that nature. But it's a different feel. It's a totally different feel. But we can talk about that stuff all day. I'll interject, and stop when I'm talking about Dorso. But yeah, he was just a coward. He was another coward. Yes, understand. Focus on it now. Exactly right, sir. So, it gets to be a point of contention. Oh yeah, Turin, have you hit my Cash App up, by the way? Here's my Cash App. I didn't mean the you know what? Let me get rid of that. Comment. This is what I meant to. So much going on. I hate it. Trying to do one thing and then another thing is happening and another thing. I'll go back to Jesus. We got Son to Son 90 in the building. He's a problem, but he's good money still. He's still good money. He hasn't given me a red cent. He's never given me a red cent, but I respect him anyway. I'm just looking it up right now. Just looking it up. Okay. So I mean, this guy he was a loser. He was a loser. I gave subs an offer to buy you a woman. Thanks a lot, Son to Son 90. I can get my own woman, but that's cool too. Y'all about to what? I'm about to do something crazy. Hold on. Okay. Still looks crazy, huh? I don't know. You gave subscribers an offer to buy you a woman. Don't need it. Beha Jackson, thank you, sir. Thank you for the cash app, sir. Let me go into. I haven't been doing a lot of advertising because it's kind of weird doing advertising with these style of shows. But let me advertise Beha Jackson. Beha Jackson is a former child actor. He was in the monumental film Boys in the Hood. He played Ice Cube's younger self. He played him Doughboy. Now he's all grown up. He's got his own YouTube channel. You can check it out. Go to Beha Jackson on YouTube.com and check. Give him his likes and subscriptions up. Get the subscribers up. Hold on. Let me find. You can find him at the point right. Hold on, that's not focus. This is it. Okay. He's got sardines on the grill, fried chicken, near beer, and female strippers. Tell him Silly Sky sent you in the comments. So make sure you check him out. Make sure you give him a subscription and keep it cool like that. All right. Okay. So Dorso was thankfully an idiot. Like, he wasn't some cunning, mastermind, super thinker, creator, I'm going to do, murder all these women and no one's going to catch me kind of thing. I think he had some kind of weird situation in his mind saying he wanted to get caught, I think, because he had no inkling of like forensics or, any kind of thought, towards actually getting caught. He was his taxi cab. He dropped off one of his people, one of the females, and she was going to get money at an ATM, and his cab is in the back, and they're trying to, the investigators are trying to decipher which company the cab company is, what number of the cab is, and it just he was just really, thankfully, sloppy. Like, that's a great thing. That's wonderful. I think that's beautiful. How stupid and malicious he was. He got caught. Almost literally with his pants down in a lot of ways. Yeah. So they linked. What? That's the thing. They had the different samples of DNA from the two or the multiple bodies, but I still don't understand why he wasn't tried for the other 5 women. I don't understand that. Why he was only tried for one? That kind of eludes me. I'm still not clear on that. Still not 100% on that. But anyway, it is very distressing in a lot of ways. Oh, Torin. I can't. It's gotta be $5 or more. I can't take. I appreciate it. Thank you for the suggestion, but it's gotta be at least $5. I don't do anything under $5. So I'm definitely gonna have to reject that. Let me see. Every time I forget how to do it. Refund turn. That's exactly what I had. Yes, confirm. $1.97 is not going to hit it. The Star Golden Rule, exactly. $1.97 will be refunded to Turin Reed. I hope I didn't dox you, but will be refunded to Torin for donation for your YouTube show. Confirm. Yes. You come up with like $5, $10, $20, that's cool. But it's going back to you, sir. It's going back right back to you. But Bayhot Jackson sent $10. If you could do $20 or at least $10, hey, I would appreciate it. But I appreciate your emphasis. But I don't even know where you got $1.97. That seems really random. Suit Sky, the most dangerous black killer. Oh, okay. We're gonna get to him. We're gonna get to him. He's not the most dangerous. He's really not the most dangerous. But I already did a show about Samuel Little, and it got messed up. It was really choppy, really messy. The audio was trash. It was completely, you can hardly hear anything I was saying. So. Yeah, Cougar Calm. Also, yeah, I know who he is. The man that was prosecuted. Yeah, I'm gonna get to him. Don't worry about it. Scott get like $3,000 in tax money. I think our tax money, and I think he has little to no bills like rent, maybe. I like your pocket watching, Son to Son 90. I do like your pocket watching. That's cool. I pocket watch all the time. But and so Duracell, who in that video you saw him, I don't know who dressed him. I don't know why they didn't put him in a sweater that was form fitting in a crisp white tee. That was a crisp white dress shirt and some glasses. Here's wearing a bulky, oversized suit jacket. He looked terrible. Only fitting a murderer, though, right? Okay. So, Paul Duracell, the lowest of the low life loser, took the lives of these. I mean, it's weird when you say words like this. That's why they say, not cliche, there's no words to describe it. I mean, I get it now. I get it why I used to roll my eye. Everybody says that. You can't put it into words. There's no words to describe it. Well, it kind of goes along with these killers, these serial killers. You call them losers, you call them monsters, you call them ogres. It's like, there's no way of repaying the families and the victims, and it's impossible to try. He had the most masterful essays and insightful documentaries targeting these serial killers, but I mean, maggots are too good a term. Maggots are actually helpful in a lot of ways. They help solve crimes. They clean wounds. Maggots are good. Are good. So you call somebody a maggot, you got to be slow. You're like, no, maggots are pretty good kind of thing to have around. I remember seeing that, I think on either Criminal Minds or CSI or something like that, and they're saying like how they timed the death of the person in question on the show, and ensured just how many hours had gone by just based on how, the amount of larva that was present in the one of the wounds of the corpse. I mean, I was like, that's really cool. And I was watching another movie or TV show called it was about CJ Box. I can't think of the goddamn name of the show. Was it Big Sky? I think it was Big Sky. And the girl, she had a wound on her leg, and she allowed maggots to disinfect it. Essentially, she used them to clean out her wound. I was like, damn, that's crazy. So like when people say, "Oh, he's a maggot, he's a low life, low down, dirty maggot," really, maggots are great. I mean, they're pretty cool. I mean, they're just part of fact of reality, just part of the truth. So I think with you know the African American serial killer, I don't want to try to put pantheon on it, just in the vein of serial killers, they should get out of it. Sky got on that Jive Turkey hat. That's right, son to son 90. You should be so honored just to see this wonderfulness, this beautifulness in action. But anyway, it is, to my knowledge, he is, one of Florida's most, horrendous, heinous killers. Ted Bundy, I think, was in Florida for a little while. Not to try to give him credence, like, oh, white man was in there too. No, I'm just saying he just happened to be. But Paul Dorso, just he wasn't. The screws weren't that tight. They weren't that tight upstairs. The screws weren't that tight because he just left all kinds of evidence. He took stuff. He completely manhandled and mangled and strangled these women, and it's just so ugly. Okay, thank you, Bumba. See, Bumba has some insight. But he says Bundy escaped jail and went to Florida. I remember him saying, I think he escaped from jail twice. Because he was a good-looking guy. He was pretty handsome, but and I think maybe one of the female guards probably was smitten by him, and kind of like was lax on letting him go free. And this is all alleged and conjecture. I'm not sure if this is exactly the example. Oh, through a vent. Okay, got you. Yeah, so Florida is definitely a haven for criminal activity, whether it's drug, it shouldn't be criminal, but drug sales, the cocaine cowboys, Willie Falcone and his brother, I think. Wow, Sky just peeked out the closet. Didn't peek out of nothing. If you can't say another man is handsome or good looking or anything like that, then you have to question your own sexuality. I'm straight. I'm heterosexual. I'm completely fine with my sexuality. I could say another man has good looks or something like that. It's not going to revoke my heterosexuality card. There's no peeking out the closet. It's just telling the truth. There's good looking guys and bad looking guys. Just like there's good looking women, there's bad looking women. So you like white men and women? No, I just like to say what is true. I mean, you have to be honest with yourself. And I love all kinds of women. I've had, like I said, I had 4 relationships with dark skinned, light skinned, Hispanic, and white women. Hope he doesn't come at me for saying that, Trinidad James. But no, I had a wonderful relationship with women. So, but Paul Dorso, going down in history, one of the most just horrific and so glad that DNA can unlock the doors that for decades and centuries and millennia have been closed. DNA has just been around since like 40 years tops, maybe a little bit longer, maybe a little shorter, but about 40 years tops, somewhere around there. And a lot of agencies didn't really deal with it, couldn't afford it, didn't probably think it was sanctioned by God in some way. You're playing with God. You're doing with DNA. Whatever. But this guy's doing the white devil's work on this Sunday. Yes, I am. Salute to you, Son to Son 90. I'm doing the white man's work right now. The depth for the devil. Because I am the devil. But anyway, that's another story. Can you get your teeth whiter than mine? All right, so I'm gonna play it again. I'm gonna play it again. Hold on.
New tonight at 5, a convicted killer and an accused serial killer will spend the rest of his life in prison. Paul Duraso's death sentence was overturned today. He was charged with killing 5 women. He was only convicted of 1 killing that happened in 1999.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I got. I tried to do video, there's no really audio. But that's what I had. That's all I had. So I hope you guys can savor that moment. What was it, 19 seconds long? So it is such a horror and terror. And that's what I like about law. That's why, I guess since I was like 5 years old when I wanted to be a police officer, I spent $1K on his. Who are you talking to, Son 90? I spent $1K on his denture. Are you talking about mine? I don't have dentures. These are all natural white teeth. See? Bright and white. See? Oh, Sky spent $1,000 on his dentures. No, these are all mine. These are all natural. All natural. I brush my teeth every day, twice a day. So, but Paul Duraso, I mean, god damn, this nigga, he just went to another mother level. You know what I mean? Like he just took it to all natural veneers. Stop it. Those pop out at night. No, they really don't. But that's like a backhanded compliment because you're saying that they look really white and they look like they're not natural, but they're natural. I'm about to do that, Sambo. Yes, sir. I sure is going to tell y'all about these serial killers. Not trying to make light of it, but it's just, I'm glad that the ones that I've seen, there's so far 8 serial killers, all have been apprehended in some way. It took time. They killed a lot of, plenty of human beings. They took a lot of human lives. But god damn it, I'm so glad that I think they all have it together. They look like the Mr. Potato Head teeth. Well, they're white too. So are you trying to make a diss? Is that a diss? That's another backhanded compliment. Mr. Potato Head doesn't have yellow, brown, chipped teeth or anything. He has white, shiny teeth. That was a good try, Son to Son 90, but not quite. So anyway, I'm glad about that. Every one of the people that I've profiled up to now so far have been apprehended and put in prison for whatever reason. Mostly for Mr. Duraso, I think that's how you pronounce it, Paul Duraso. He just was not bright. There's like a back and forth in the mind of saying like, okay, was he smart enough? Was he not smart enough? Did he do the right thing? Was he, it's a weird balance to try to, say if he was, yes, he was cunning. He was smart. He was on the edge of intelligence. He was on the cutting edge. But in fact, in reality, this guy just wasn't that bright. He wasn't smart. He was not smart. I don't know if DNA even registered in his mind at that time period. Because it's especially now. I mean, that's so great. We have smartphones, smartwatches, drones, security cameras, and 4K. HD, 4K, whatever it may be. We've got people on social media saying all these different things, and making sure that there's neighborhood watches on yourself. I have Nextdoor. I use Nextdoor. They're always saying some random stuff like, "Oh, my dog was outside for too long. I forgot to get it." Little stuff like that. But it's big because if there were somebody to come through a neighborhood or to terrorize something or to be something malicious, then that would be a very targeted and intent, a way of an intentional way of showing it. So, Sky, you need a manager to grow your subscribers. Once again, I love Son of Sun 90. He's great. I need a manager. Not saying, "Oh, I'm going to pay for you to get a manager." Not, "Oh, you need a manager." All right, let me see what else he said. "Let me pick your topics for a week and watch you get better analytics." Well, pay me for you to be a manager. You believe in a lot of money on the floor. I think you said you believe in. But you be leaving a lot of money on the floor on topic you couldn't cover that are trendy. The women have a new app called the T app that would have made a good topic. Yeah, maybe, I don't know, but I like doing this topic. This is interesting to me. I mean, it's not something I would have probably gotten to if Mr. Troy Star Terrain hadn't have said, you need to start doing something about African American serial killers. And I was just like, God damn it, why not? Like, I wanted to get to a point where I could get to this, but I was focused on too many current events and stuff like that. These are non-trending topics, and I'm getting views. I'm getting double-digit views, triple-digit views. So I'm very excited about that. It's very exciting. And I see that our friend Torin hightailed it. He's no longer on part of the broadcast right now that I can see. Yeah, you got to cover the trendy topic so you can build the following that you can touch on the topic you want to. I feel. Well, that could be interesting. I thank you. I appreciate it, Son of Sun 90. But you have not given me one red coin. So it's like you got all these suggestions and stuff like that. And say, "Oh, you're still here. Good to go, Turin." If you want to continue on, Turin, $5 to $10. That's all you gotta do. $5 at least. You gotta do at least $5. I don't know what that $1.97 was. At least $5. We can talk business with $5. So you're still here. I'm glad you are still here. My counter sometimes doesn't have it. No, sir, I got bills. Well, that's cool. Great. I'm glad you have bills. You have responsibilities. You have some semblance of adulthood going on. So this Paul DeRusso, oh my God, just a loser. Just a loser. Dishonorable discharge. Worked some, odd jobs. Was a cabbie. Was a cab driver. Called him the cabbie killer. The Jack, what was it? Yeah, the Jacksonville Strangler. So, I mean, these things are becoming rarer and rarer. Don't block. You're not getting blocked. I don't block anybody, Turin. I just need more money. That's all I ask. Bayha Jackson always drops at least $10. Sometimes he goes up to I think he had the most was like $33 or something crazy. But I appreciate him. He's one of the sponsors of this show. You're not going to get blocked, Turin. Not by me. I have wrenches in here. You got Son to Sun 90 and Bumba. They got wrenches. So, you might, and of course, Bayha Jackson, he's got a wrench. So you're not going to get blocked by me, sir. Never, but never that. Never, 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 never. Where is Texas when I need him? But anyway, yeah, Dorso, just a bloody bastard, just a mean-spirited, ugly, disgusting, puny. That's one of the things we have to realize. You think, oh, these serial killers are mastermind. Yo, King, salute to you, King Hazy, salute in the building. You gotta realize there's people that say, oh man, they're so smart, man. How do they kill all these women? How do they get into their minds? How do they? It's not that much. All you need is a wink and a smile sometimes for these females. Not saying they're stupid or something like that, but women, take light to stuff like that, because that's the reason why they're really guarded in a lot of ways. Women are very guarded in a certain circumstance. I know individuals. I know, individual cases may not apply, but as a general rule, women are very conservative, very to themselves, very to themselves, and completely able to be disarmed and able to trust these people, these animals, actually, excuse me. And that's just the reality of it. I mean, there would be no relationship. There would be no heterosexual relationships if that were not the case. But I like to break down a woman's mind. That's what I've been doing. That's what I've been doing with these 4 relationships I was with. I broke down their minds. And they gave me information and knowledge as well, So I appreciate them. Because just think about sex. Sex is a crazy act. It is weird. It's strange. It's wonderful and lovely, but it's like, this is a crime. This is wrong in a way. Like, I'm not saying this in the religious, faithful, context. I'm saying it in the sense of the law, because all she has to do is say, that wasn't a good thing that you did. I didn't like that. I didn't. And then she just goes to the cops and tells her what she just said, and then everything is turned on you, and you're like, damn, now I got to do 15 to life because she said she didn't like something. Like, that's the weird space that you're in, like, with sex, because it's all contextual. All she has to do is say no, and you go to court, and she said no, even if she didn't say no. Let's just say she said no, or she said no, and you stopped and you backed up and you got dressed and everything, like, you took a shower, got dressed, everything was cool. And then she ran to the cops, and then you're found out and you're in the clink for a little while. Then you go to trial. She said, yeah, I said no, and he kept going, and like, they're like, oh my God, this poor little angel, this girl, I can't believe it. And this monster, this terrible human being, excuse for a human being, how could he do this? How could he? That's what I mean. That's how weird and goofy sex is. How it shouldn't be. Sex is a beautiful thing, not a gift of God or anything like that. Not any that nonsense. But it's a response to the highest values to be found in a woman. So, and I would imagine it's for men too. It's you know what? And like, I'm serious though. On a serious note, there was a guy in when I was in the Puzzle Factory, the Nut House, the Cuckoo's Nest, the Crazy House. There's a guy who was raped. He was raped. They had him in a bathtub and they forced him down. They held his neck and raped him. I was like, God damn. And he had 100%. I was like, damn, I didn't get a rape charge, but I'm getting 100%. You best believe that. But I didn't have that experience when I went to the Marines, but he did, and I was like, damn, that's cool. But it's a very weird place because, and that's the thing with your body as well. Your body does, unless it's like force and it's like harsh and hard and grating. Some women enjoy, not enjoy, not they don't enjoy the experience, but their body enjoys it. They have orgasms. Some women experience orgasms during rape. That's a fact. You can look that up. That's happened. I looked it up a long time ago. But that your body, it's a mind body, dichotomy. It's the mind body dichotomy that separates your senses and your responses, and the stimulation of the genitals and stuff like that. All that has to be in concert, but it's split from your brain, from your mind, because it's like, I know this is wrong, but why is my body feeling like saying this feels good? Like, that's the weird space. It's weird. So Paul Duraso, he essentially made kind of like a buildup of all that. He wanted to of course brutalize these women and then kill them, but he seemed like he was he was going to allow them to enjoy their bodies to react to the force and the terrible act of rape and sexual assault. Sun 90 says sex is more mental than typical. You have to stimulate her mind so it can signal her lady parts. True. Sky, let me see you a lady. Sky, let me see you a lady. Send me see you a lady. You're talking to a headset, aren't you? I know you're talking to a headset. It's not picking up the right words, I don't think. I thought so. No, I'll get them on my own. Like I said, once I go back in the market, I'll do it. But right now, I'm cool. I'm good. Like, I don't have any headaches. I have no baby mamas. I have no girlfriend, which weren't headaches. They were real good. Like, the girl, I was very fortunate to have the girlfriends I've had in these 4 serious relationships, because they were all cool. They were cool. They're like down for whatever, and they bought me gifts. We went out on dates. I love that. That's one of my favorite things to do, is go on a date with a woman. That's one of my favorite things to do in life at all. My favorite things. That's almost better than like you're saying, Sun 90. It's more mental, because like you get to understand them more, speaking and learning through whatever they're saying. It's wonderful. Where that girl at that be singing that works in the VA? You talking about Holly? No, Holly's good money. I'm leaving that alone. That's not. She's not material for me to have boyfriend girlfriend relationships. Holly is on her own. Holly's got 2 kids. I think she said in the room, so she's 45. She's good money. She gives me my money. She's a white woman, gets my money, so I respect her. She's good money. Holly not me. Holly not my speed. She got kids. Exactly. But I do respect those that nurture and help and raise kids that aren't their own. I think that's cool. That was my grandfather, actually, that he raised or helped raise my father into the man that he made. He became, the Superman in my eyes, or the Michael Jordan of parenting. So my grandfather was probably the kind of like Bill Terrain. He was like a hard man. He would chuckle every now and then, but most of the time it was like, "Hey boy, stop whistling in the house." Like, he just had like that old soul kind of like 30s and like 20s and 30s and 40s kind of feel. Like, you know what I mean? Like he had that exacting kind of temperament, you know? Like, boy, don't what you doing with you playing with them cards? What you doing? What you doing, boy? Son of Son 90 said, kids are a headache. My baby father. Oh my god, okay. Almost caught us the other day. Luckily, I smashed and just let her leave. See, you didn't mean to say baby father, but it says baby father, so that's your business. I think you meant to say baby mother. Luckily, I smashed and just let her leave out, but she had her location on and forgot. Whoa. Oh, your ex's baby father. Okay, got you. Her baby daddy. I got. Okay, so you're cool. I didn't understand what you were saying, but now I got it. My ex's baby father, her baby daddy, almost caught us the other day. Luckily, I smashed and just let her leave out, but she had her location on and forgot. That's that P&B stuff. That's what I was saying. That's what I said. The baby's daddy. Baby's daddy. That's what I was saying. So that's that P&B. That location stuff will get you every time. You know. But that's just a fact of reality, I guess, nowadays. P&B. You should be an A English teacher. Okay. You capitalize English. I'm glad that it should be an English teacher. You should have a period after the teacher. Should be an English teacher. That's funny. I was thinking about that. I might if I don't, I'm trying to go through the VA system to do my what is it called? My post 9/11 GI Bill. It actually expired last year. I had 15 years. But the thing I'm arguing is I didn't know when I'll be able to go to school because I was going in and out of psychiatric wards for close to 10 to 12 years. And it's only been 3 years really since I had the right cocktail of drugs to alleviate my symptoms. Um, but that's another thing. You should be an English teacher. Where's the money to go for school? Where's the money for my books? Where's the money for the lesson plan? Son of Son has none of that. Son of Son 90 has no inclination for saying, yeah, I got you. I'm gonna put $1,000 on your books. I'm gonna put it, he just says you should be a English teacher. I should be a English teacher because it should be an English teacher, sir. It's the agreement of the article and the word following it. It's beginning with a vowel. But anyway, Paul, whatever his goofy name is, what's his name? I don't even remember what his name was. He is this disgusting brute, and he's living life incarcerated, probably kicked up with cool. It's probably hot in Florida all year round. I think he's part of one of the Florida prisons. And Durso, that's his name. Durso, probably kicked up, probably got his books filled, probably got legions of fans that pour in money. Make sure he has his Chips Ahoy and his top ramen and his hot sauce. His books are probably filled every month. I'm sure of it. He may get married again, or not again, but for the first time in prison. They allow that. I'm still baffled by that, but okay. And that's another thing too. I like what George Carlin was saying. Who came up with that last meal? I'm glad there were prisons that said we ban that. No, we don't do last meals. We cook them. We're not cooking them food. We're cooking them. We put them in the hot chair. We put them in the hot seat, the electric chair. We let them ride the lightning. There's no last minute. Well, I want steak and lobster with burgers and cheese and chicken and turkey and You know, forget all that. Just kill them. That's what. If you didn't know, this is a little bit of tidbit. This is a fact. There was a inmate who was on death row. He was going to the chair. I think it was a chair or lethal injection, one or the other. Ways of capital punishment, whatever the method was. But he said, "Just do it," and that's where Nike got its phrase. It's catchphrase. Its slogan. Just do it. He just said it. You know, he was like, I did all this dirt. I did terrible things to other human beings. Let me get off of this existence. Just do it. And now we're like, oh yeah, just do it, Nike. Yeah, that's great. If you let me be your manager, you wouldn't need no donations. I can help you grow the channel, which would bring in more people with equals more revenue. If you're serious, son to son 90, let me see a CV. I'm about to be my own. Let me see a CV. I'm about to be my own Indeed. Indeed, you do. Send me a CV through my email. My email's right there, skylarsaunders@gmail.com. If you go there, you can definitely send me enough money. You don't have to send me money. I know you anyway. You're not going to be sending me money, but send me a CV, send me a resume of what your specialties are. Send me, your different abilities and capabilities and some vital statistics, and we can probably do business together. That'd be cool. I like that. Yeah, Duracell, bulky suits. Wasn't that good looking of a guy. I mean, he was all right, I guess you could say. He probably had charm. This is the thing. Serial killers don't have to be pretty. That guy Rivera, his teeth were messed up. If I said his name right, Ramirez, not Rivera, Ramirez. He's a spick, and he was oh my God, his teeth were just disgusting, and his face was really contorted, like big cheeks, and like a hollow jaw. Like it was crazy. I don't know if he's still alive. He may still be alive. He was horrible. But yeah, so I think Durso must have had some kind of sloppy, weird, slanted game, not really true game, but enough to allow these women to be disarmed, to be controlled. And then when he got to the moment, it was kind of like a spider, The web is sticky and sweet, and they're stuck. Like, oh my God, I'm stuck to the web. And the spider comes in and gets to fly wherever it is. That's what these serial killers are. Sunset 90 says, honestly, we can do it over a virtual handshake. I can just send the stories and the topics, and you choose if you want to cover them. I feel like you missed out on a lot of hot topics. Yes, I think I did miss out on a lot of hot topics. I just watched what you were talking about with Nicki Minaj and her meltdown. Whoo! She went ape. She went into the FBI, the Center for, what was it, the CIA or something like that? She was like, did you see him threaten me? He just threatened me. Oh my God. He really did. He threatened me. And that weird voice, that one of those weird accents she does. And she reached out, and one of the officials actually reached out and confirmed that she talked about Nicki Minaj's pleas. I was like, that was crazy. That was crazy. So yeah, thank you for sending that to me though, Sun 90. I'm not using it until I exhaust all, as many African American serial killers as I can. I'm going to fully express myself with this battery of various profiles that come my way. You got to use the urban news to get your channel big. You can't be like, oh, everybody else already covered it. Everybody ain't you. Facts. Everybody ain't me, but you're giving me like halfway game, sir. You're not telling the full picture. Yeah, Nicki Minaj is coked up. Oh, well, slow down. I have no idea. The views expressed by Sun the Sun 90 do not reflect those of Scholar Saunders Singh or any of its affiliates. Discretion is advised. I feel like what she took off her brain. Keep in mind, she got Meek Mill on. Exactly. That's a definitely allegation. I don't know that. Well, hey, we've come to the end of the show. Paul Duraso, life imprisonment, much deserved. Should have got the death penalty. Sad that was overturned. I had just the short news clip. That's all I have. That will stick with the show. I could have shown you whole documentaries or pieces from the documentary, but they actually block it while you're trying to do it. So that's a good thing, I guess, in a way. But I will be back on tomorrow with another installment of the African American Serial Killers catalog. Thank you very much. Take it easy. All right, brother. Thanks for that laugh, Sun to Sun 90.